Hi folks, this is question 5. This is the circles question. The easiest way to find centre when you're given the equation of the circle in this form is you just let what's in front of the x be equal to 2g. So 2g here is equal to 4. That means g is equal to 2. And then we let 2f be equal to the thing that's in front of the y. So it's minus 6 here. So 2. And then f has to be equal to minus 3. Now when we have g and we have f, then the centre is always minus g minus f. That's in the log tables. So that's what the centre is. So therefore I need to change the sign of both of them. So it'll be minus 2 and it'll be positive 3. So minus 2, 3 is the centre. And then to get the radius, we're going to use g squared plus f squared minus c. And that would be 2 squared plus minus 3 squared minus 5. And we end up getting root 8. I think when you simplify that, it's 2 root 2, so one or the other doesn't matter. Right, to show that they touch internally then, if they touch internally, well then the distance from the center to the outside, sorry, the distance between the two centers so from there to there has to be equal to one of the radiuses minus the other, so it has to be equal to the full radius. Take away that radius there, basically. So what we're going to do is we're just going to find the distance between the centers here anyway. The center of this circle is 2 minus 1. The center of the other circle was minus 2, 3. We found that last part. And we just do x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, the distance between 2 points. That's going to be 2 minus minus 2 squared plus minus 1 minus 3 squared. That gives me root 32, I think. And that's the same thing as 4 root 2. So if that's true, well then, sorry, if they touch internally, well then that 4 root 2 should be what one radius take away the other radius is. Now the radius in the one up there was 2 root 2. So if I subtract the radius of this circle, and the radius of this circle would just be, because r squared is equal to 72, well then r is just equal to root 72. So if I do 2 root 2 minus root 72, well, I should write them the other way around really, because root 72 is obviously the bigger one. Therefore I do get 4 root 2 in the end. So we've shown that the distance between the two centers is equal to the radius of the big circle minus the radius of the small circle. And that shows that they touch internally. Right, last part. You've got a couple of options of ways you can do it. I'm going to use this formula, x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0, and I'm going to sub my points into that formula. So I'm just going to sub in the point 7, 10 first. So we get 7 squared plus 10 squared plus 2g times 7 plus 2f times 10 plus c is equal to 0. Then that will give me 149 there. 7 squared and 10 squared added together. plus 14g plus 20f plus c is equal to 0. Bring the 149 to the other side, just to put the number on that side. And we have an equation then with g, f and c in it. We have 1. Now I'm going to sub in the point 12.8. I'm going to do it over here. I'm just putting 12 in instead of x now, and 8 in instead of y. Then if we do 12 squared, it gives us 144. If we do 8 squared, it gives us 64. If I add them two together, it gives me 208 plus 24g plus 16f plus c is equal to 0. And I'll just bring the 208 to the other side again. Right. Next then is probably the tricky bit. It's not too bad for the last part of this question, but so if you notice, they tell you that 9, 0. So the center of that circle is on the line, that line there. If you're thinking about what the x coordinate is, the x coordinate has to still be 9. That should make sense. Now, if you remember, the center of a circle is minus g minus f. That's what the center of a circle is. But we know that the x coordinate of it has to be 9. That means that the minus g bit for the center has to be equal to 9. That has to be true. Therefore, g has to be equal to minus 9. And that's the hardest bit in this part of the question. So g is equal to minus 9. And that's all we need to do just to show that. So now, because we know g is minus 9, you can just sub in minus 9 in for g in my two equations that I found down here. And that's all I'm going to do next. We get minus 126 there. If I bring the minus 126 to the other side and add it on, I get minus 20. Then I'm going to do the same over here. So now I'm putting minus 9 again for e. If you do 24 times 9, we get 216. Sorry, that should be minus 9 I put in there, sorry. G was minus 9, so we get minus 216 plus 16f plus c is equal to minus 208. And we end up getting 8 on the other side then. Now I'm just taking those two equations and I write one over the other. And it's just solving simultaneous equations from here. Take one away from the other, we get 4f is equal to minus 31. So f is equal to minus 31 over 4. So that's what f is, and then if you put that back in then, so 16 times minus 31 over 4 plus c is equal to 8. That will give you minus 1, 2, 4. Then bring that across, so you get c is equal to something big, so 132. Right, it's just putting it into the original formula then. It'll be minus 18x, because 2 times minus 9, and then we have to do 2 times, yeah, it'll be minus anyway, 2 times minus 31 over 4 would be just 31 over 2. Plus 132 is equal to 0.